Okay. Good evening, or good afternoon, or good morning from wherever you're joining us from. Due to the benefit of technology, if you're connecting with us here, we're so happy to have you. Welcome to this evening's webinar session. And this is a Petra initiative designed to ensure that you get closer to your goals. My name is Sarah Ayi, and I will be moderating the session. And I am joined by two highly resourced, highly intelligent financial advisors or experts in the field who'll be introducing themselves and helping us have this evening's conversation on how to reset yourself for the year, especially on your financial goals and your money reflections. I'm going to head along to the only gentleman on the team to introduce himself and share a few words, and then the lady as well on the team. So, gentleman in green, if you can assist us with your introduction.
Hi, good afternoon, good morning, good evening to you wherever you are joining in. My name is Kennedy Smith, and I'm happy to be with us this afternoon or early evening in Ghana. We are happy that you're joining this webinar series because it is very, very important that we reset our finances as we begin the year. So I'd like to wish everyone Happy New Year, and I hope the holidays were fun. Now it's time for us to pull ourselves together. So I hope you enjoy the various session, various conversation that we're going to have this afternoon. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you very much, Kennedy. And Huzaifa, obviously your name is showing, but tell us a bit about yourself and your
All right,
expectations or what we should expect. Yeah.
cool. Good afternoon, morning, evening, like Sarah said, depending on where you're joining us from. My name is Huzaifa Abdullahi. I'm the general manager for Achieve by Petra, which is the digital platform, digital app that allows you to invest towards your goals. And it is a part of the Petra Group as well. I'm excited to be here so that we can talk about our financial goals typically at the beginning of the year, we think about how we want the year to go. So it's also a good time to talk about our financial goals and plan for this year as well. So I'm excited to be here. Looking forward to the conversation.
Thank you so much, Uzifa. Thank you so much, Kennedy. And like they've said, and as you've heard their portfolios as well, this is promises to be a very interesting conversation, a very good one, but most importantly, very practical so you can apply it. Now, we know you're tired of hearing New Year resolutions, but stick and stay and do share the link as well with your friends, especially those ones that came to you after Dirty December, calling you evil and wicked because you couldn't lend them money. This is something that's actually going to help them plan better. So would like for you to stick and stay. And once again, there will be questions. So feel free to drop in your questions or your consent. And we have a lot of amazing resources afterwards that would practicalize what we'll be saying. So do stay with us just for this 1 hour. Now, on to business. So I'll just be asking my panelists, especially from Josefa and Kennedy, just random questions, what you think a financial reset should look like, just to put our listeners, our viewers' minds at ease, because we've had reset in several ways. So before we get into the meat of the matter, we want to understand this well. For you, Josefa, when we see a financial reset, what does it signify?
Yes. So financial reset Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you
Yes, we
now.
can hear you now.
Okay, great, great. I tried to unmute, but apparently it didn't work.
Okay.
So what I was saying was that reset typically just means taking a step back. Okay, we know it's an English word, but the way we are using it when you think about financial reset is to take a step back, evaluate your financial situation, look at your income, your expenses, the goals that you set for yourself, whether clear or whether at the top of your head, whether written down. What progress are you making towards that? Evaluate your behaviors, the good ones, the bad ones, and then take that opportunity to create a new way of doing things, make changes where required. And so for us, it's important that at the beginning of the year, at least, right? I think that you should go through this process more frequently. You can do it quarterly, you can even do it monthly, but at least at the beginning of the year, it's a good time to just sit down, take stock of 2024. What did I do? How much did I spend? you know, the goals that I set for myself, did I make any sensible progress towards them, or I was impulsively doing things that derailed me from my goals? What were the good behaviors that I exhibited? What were the not so great behaviors that I exhibited? And then take that as a baseline to create a plan for the year. And so that's what we mean by financial reset. Managing your money, as I keep saying, is not common sense. It is a skill that can be learned. And so that's why we engage in these sessions. And hopefully, at the end of the period, we can all pick one or two things that would help us as we create goals for the year. So for me, that's what a financial reset is.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much. It's loaded and it's so useful. Ken, what does a reset also mean to you?
Yeah, thank you very much, Sarah. So I actually align with all the things that Zifa indicated, right? Sometimes I think in P they say that the old chapman didn't say the church here, right? When as you move forward, you will never know the mess you're creating behind you. So it is important that you take a step back and reevaluate the situations, right? So beyond that, if, for example, there are so many reasons why you need to do a reset, and as with our advice, you need to do it at least twice in a year. That is the Petra for us. That's the advice we give to most of our customers. Um, One of the key reasons why you need to do a reset is that when you encounter life events, so for example, when you get married, you need to reset your finances. When you get divorced, because it's a positive and negative, right? When you get divorced, you need to also reset your finances. When significant issues happens in life, right? When you finish school, you need to look at your reset your finances. And when you typically also have financial setbacks, so things around losing money for through your investments, or for some reasons you kept some money under your bed and your maid happened to found it and make use of it, that can throw a serious setback to you, to your finances, and you need to do a reset, right? And lastly, which mostly happens to everybody, when you get overwhelmed or you get disorganized based on, work pressures, family pressures, or anything related to you being disorganized, you need to do a financial reset. All right. So our aim for this conversation is that we'll help you through the specific steps you can go through to do research whenever you are faced with these significant life issues. And when the new year also starts, you need to also do a research, and that's why we're here today.
Good stuff, good stuff. So there are different ways in which that can be done, and it's very necessary. And just getting to the meat of the matter today. So, Josefa, why is it even important to set financial goals?
Okay, so one thing that I've always said is that as a person, if you want to actually make progress in life, you need to set goals in all areas of your life. Okay, so you can have health goals, you can have family goals, how you want your family to be, education goals, and all of these goals. Fortunately or unfortunately, most of our goals have a financial aspect. You need some money to facilitate your goal. If it's an education goal, if you want to better your education or pick up a new skill and so on and so forth, even if you are going on YouTube, you need money to buy data, right? But if you're actually getting a certificate, you need money to enroll, etc. If you're a family person, how you want to run your family, the kinds of schools you want to take your children to, the kinds of healthcare you want them to access, etc. All of these things take some financing, and then even religious goals take financing, right? Even if you want to show up for God, you may want to do that as well. So for me, planning your finances plays an integral role in actually planning your life. Okay, and that is why it's important to set financial goals. Um, One thing that we don't do well, I think, is that we when we are asked to write down our goals or think about where we want to be in the next 3 to 5 years, we will write down all the nice things, I want to be here, I want to be there, but we don't take time to assess what it actually takes to get there, right? And I think that that's the part that's missing, because if for instance, you have a child in, I don't know, class 5 or 6, and you think you want them to go to a certain senior high school, or you want them to go to college out of the country, that's a great dream to have, but do you know what it costs to do that, right? And have you taken time to think through? So you should be able to quantify your goals and dreams into CD amounts or dollar amounts, so that then it guides how you are planning towards it, right? So if my child needs to go to college in 10 years and I know that it costs this much to take them to college, I'll try to do some inflation adjustments. Hopefully, things will stabilize in this country, and all your estimations don't go out of the window. But at least you know that year on year, this is how much I need to be saving towards that goal. And so for me, that's why it's critical, really, to set financial goals as a backing to your actual life goals.
Great. And it is important because then everything that you have as a goal, health wise, everything else actually does have a financial implication. That is quite revealing. So then we really understand why we need to set the goals. But what are some of the common challenges that we face? So, especially for most Ghanaians when it comes to financial goals, like I say, people can sit and say, 3 years, I want my children to be in this school and that. But when it comes to the actual financial goals, there are lots of challenges, and mostly we'll blame the economy and everything. But can you also help us see some of the challenges and any ways that smart ways we can go about them, the ones that we can?
So I think let me, if I can take this one, Sarah.
Yeah.
So so just like Uzefa indicated, right? It is important you set these goals for clarity. And sometimes you may have the money, but you may spend on things that you do not plan for. And that is why it is important you set the goals. So it is for clarity and it's for purpose expenses, right? Now, it's also supposed to protect you for the future. All right. And having said that, I would like to just quickly walk us through what I call the financial life cycle. Immediately you are born, your cycle begins with your financial life. And between in a typical study being organized by um, um, I think I've forgotten the firm, but it's a well-known firm that were trying to run some exercise in Ghana and Africa. And they categorize these financial cycles into four stages. And below 20 years, you is the formation stage where you are mostly dependent on your parents. So you realize that even in the school, before you come out of SS, you're around 17, 18, and you enter university around 20 years and all that, right? So at that point, most people or most Ghanaians depend on their parents. But when you get to from 20 to 40 years, that is where you need to accumulate and you need to grow what you are accumulating. And that is where some of these critical decisions come in, right? And when you're done with that, after 40 years, there's this saying that life begins at 40. And that is where you need to do all the chilling and all the um, have all the life that you've been planning for, right? But the truth of the matter is that around that time, when you look at the financial capital, that is where you are peaking in your career and you are earning all your big monies, right? All things being equal. So around that time is where you need to preserve and prepare for retirement. And 60 years and above is the conservation stage, which I'm sure we'll touch on some of few things when we are looking at the practices and the specific things you need to do when you are saving and investing. So at that point, you can't do aggressive investment and all that, right? Now, throughout all these cycles, there are setbacks. And each stage has their own setbacks, right? Generally, as Sarah indicated, we will blame it on the economy, the macroeconomic indicators, inflation, and all those things. But the most important thing is that generally in Ghana, the income levels are low. A study being conducted by Ghana Statistical Services that look, average Ghanaian earns between 500 to 1,000 maximum, right? And this is even the employed category. I have a lot of people who are was unemployed, right? So when you find yourself outside that bracket, it means that there is a need for you to put money down. So that low income levels can create a great challenge to you. All right. Number two, one of the setbacks is the illiteracy. That's you not understanding the steps and the process that you can go through to put a very smart goal down, right? And it's part of the reason why some of these sessions being put together by Petra and Achieve is to just help us or start us off to be able to be taking the right decisions. Another setback that you can have is cultural setback, right? The things that happen in Ghana are different from the things that happen in Kenya. Someone was sharing a funny story that um, for fancies, they are not born to save, but an Asante man are born to invest in business, and Kogu people are born to invest in business. And these are thoughts that run through people's minds and all that, and some of them embrace them. But the truth of the matter is that every individual, regardless of where you come from, all right, you are supposed to prepare for retirement and prepare for the future. So there can be cultural setbacks depending on where you live, even if it is true, right? By the end of the day, you need to what take that decision and put something down and prepare. And that is where the goals, the financial plan, the plan and the goal setting begins. The last thing I'd like to touch on is one of the major setback also is your preparedness and the timing for you to start planning. Sometimes I'm sure some of us on this webinar have been in similar sessions. The whole of for the past 2 years, you've been more than 3 or 5 sessions. But the decision to start planning is always being procrastinated, right? And when you do that, you're actually doing yourself a disservice. So it is important. The major setback can be yourself. So you need to try and set the plans now. I'm hoping that by the end of this webinar, people can show us evidence of starting their financial plan and setting their financial goals. And that can give us some level of comfort that at least Petra is impacting on many of our customers. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you very much, Ken. This is rich information. And like you're saying, after this, people should be able to go ahead and make those informed decisions. And yes, we're going to be giving them the things that make it very practical. But just on the lighter side, and not to be tribalistic, I liked what you said about the different tribes. So because I'm a guy, I'm justified to say what I'm going to say. That apparently, even in a classroom setting, the same thing applies to Ashantis like school, Fantis like education, and guys like break time. So for my side, Ga- and I'm justified because I'm a guy. No, thank you so much. When Josefa was speaking and she was teaching us about why you even need to have a goal in the beginning, we got the fact that why you need to set it as an important step because you can't actually start without a plan. But Josefa, what are the key components? What are the things I need to look out for if I'm putting together a plan that would make sense and that would benefit me? Yeah.
Okay, great. So when you're setting a goal or financial goal, I think most people know about how to set goals, but I'm still going to take us through just some of the characteristics of a good goal, a goal that is more likely to be achieved than not. Okay, because once you say you want to set a goal, you can create any objective that you want. Like I can sit here and say that I want to save $10 million by December 2025. It's a nice goal, but as to whether I can achieve it is a different question, right? So you first of all need to set a specific goal. Look at your life. One thing about goal setting is that if you are trying to do too many things, you might end up not doing any of them at all. And I strongly believe in focus, right? I strongly believe in focus. So I don't think it's prudent given your circumstances to say maybe I want to build a house, buy a car, get married, get my masters, take my mother to Hajj, do the like all of these things are major expenses, and depending on your circumstances, you may just at a point give up, right? So for me, the first thing is to look at your life and then pick the key areas, prioritize the key areas, and then pick a few for which you will set specific goals. Okay, and so a specific goal could be that I want to reach X level in my building projects. It's very specific, right? Or maybe I've been saving towards a car and I have X amount. I want to reach X amount in my car savings, or I want to pay towards my MBA in 2026. Like these are specific goals. So you pick, and I don't advise you to pick for the key goals more than three, because you know that those are heavy goals. They'll cost you a lot of money. You know your pockets, but the goals you pick must make sense. Then your goals must also be measurable. So it's not to say that, oh, at the end of the 2025, I want my bank account to be fat. I don't know what that means. You end the year with 2,000 cedis in your bank account, and we will not know whether you met your goal or not, right? So because you've already decided the key things in the first step, now you set specific CD amounts or dollar amounts, whatever currency for for your goal, so that you can measure. And what that does is also, because you set a certain amount, you can then break it down. When you break it down, you know how you need to progress towards that. And then the goal also needs to be actionable. So again, it should be something that you can actually do, right? You can actually save. I mean, I if you earn 2,000 CDs a month and you set a goal that requires you to save 1,500 CDs a month or invest 1,500, that's not something that's actionable or realistic, which is the fourth characteristic, right? It also needs to be realistic, and then it needs to be time bound. So if you realize the examples I was giving earlier, I was putting a time to it so that you hold yourself accountable, and then you'll be able to set that goal. So once you are thinking in this manner, you'll be able to craft very nice goals for yourself, maybe three of them. This year I want to change my car from a Tico to a Toyota Yaris 2000 and what model, and it costs X amount, and I want to be able to do that by October. Very clear. And to do that, I need to be investing X amounts from my salary every month. Now, because you've done that, then you come to a few other things that I want to talk about, which is like budgeting, right? That's the first one. So, because you set those, now you take that goal and then you come to your monthly income. How do I earn? Where do I earn from? Do you actually know your total earnings, especially from my freelance guys and people who work in the gig economy? And even for those of us who work in corporate institutions, some have side gigs, they do one offs. Do you actually know your total income month on month or whatever period you earn? Once you do that, you know that now I can manage my income. So you go to the budgeting stage. And then because of the goals I've set, I know how much I need to be saving per month, how much insurance I need to have. For some of us, we definitely need insurance, right? Life insurance, car insurance, especially those who have families. So it's not just about investing, it's also about protecting your assets as you create them. So you know all that. So you go into the budgeting, and then once you've done that, you now manage yourself using that blueprints that you've created. The third one would be expense management, right? It takes a lot of discipline to be able to um, actually live by the budget that you set. It's very easy to do budgets in paper and Excel, but you need that discipline. You need to be smart about it. You need to manage your expenses. And then at that point, you have a blueprint, very nice, month on month, how much I need to save, how much I need to invest, what I need to do for insurance, and how I need to live my life. And then once you have these components in there, I think you would have a very good set of goals and a plan to back those goals, and then you try to live by it throughout the year. Hopefully, you're able to meet your goals using that blueprint. I don't know if Ken wants to add anything, but that's what I have for now.
Yeah, I think you said it all, Zifa. And setting smart goals is the best way for you to um, be successful at it. And one thing that you mentioned that really I want to just reiterate is the goals that you're setting, you're not setting for your friend, family member, or someone to do it. So you have to be actionable. One of the key setbacks, and as I alluded to earlier, one of the key setbacks, if you're not disciplined in following up with your goals, trust me, you're going to find very every day you pull up a sheet, you pull up an Excel sheet, and you'll be writing goals, and you end up not achieving them. So being disciplined is one of the key things that I would like to make sure that we all understand. If the goals you're setting are not actionable, don't tickle yourself. Try and set goals that you think you can do them. All right. And also, you need to also challenge yourself. So it has to be a bit, you know, that you've been taking, let's say, um, 8 bottles in a month. All right, that is an expense. We'll get into the budget side, but that's an expense you can actually avoid. So if you know now, denying yourself of the 8 bottles and making it one or even none, and that can increase your financial savings to about, let's say, 10%. That is you stretching yourself. Please, you understand. So it is important that we just uh, we are consistent with the savings and we are very disciplined on what we put down. All right. Um, yeah, sir. I think you can take it up for now.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. We'll be powering on. I think it's very useful information. Keyword is the discipline and the consistency. And we've been able to help people with smart goals. So we're just going to take a quick break at this point. And like we've heard about discipline, if you discipline, stay on and do invite your friends. Keep the questions coming. We see all the questions. We see all of you greeting us when you enter the chat rooms as well. We're going to be addressing them. They are very important and we would love to really hear your voices. So keep them coming. We'll be on a short break and we'll be right back. All right. And we're right back. Thank you very much for staying with us. We're right back from that very quick break, and we're going to be continuing with our questions. So far, we've learned why it's important to set the goals, what the setbacks are when it comes to setting of the goals, and also the components or the things that you should use and when setting the goals. So we're still powering through, and just to remind you, this is a petrol-led initiative to help you ensure that you financially reset and enjoy the year and have a sound financial future. Keep your questions coming as well. We've been speaking to Josefa and Kennedy. So, on our fourth topic or vein for discussion, Josefa, I would like to know when it comes to practicalizing. So, we know that we should set smart goals. We know that we should also have discipline and be able to start from a point where it's not so difficult so we can graduate. What are the arsenal we can have, or the tools or the things, the smart things that you can use? Because when it comes to budgeting, like you mentioned, a lot of us, our budgets are in our head. And so we kind of move with that. But really, how do we take a step that is very different from last year compared to this year to make sure that everything that we are speaking of as individuals, we implement it?
Yes, that's a very good one, Sarah. So we spoke about discipline. I think for human beings to remain disciplined, we need to build habits, okay? And for you to build a habit, you have to sort of do the thing consistently for a while. They say it takes 21 times of doing something to start to build a habit. And so you have to build the habit of learning about how you manage your finances. The first tool you need is knowledge. Kenny mentioned it, right? Financial literacy is generally low in Ghana, but there's a lot of resources out there that you can read to understand, how you manage your money. We will not go too much into that today, but I just wanted to put that out there as well. But then there are also tools for creating budgets. There are lots of apps out there for creating a budget, managing your expenses, tracking your expenses, so that you actually know where your money goes. Some people wake up on Saturday, check their iBanking platform or their bank app and go, what happened? I don't understand. You spent the money. Nobody went into your bank account to take any money from you. You spent the money. And you have to be very conscious about how you're spending money so that you can track. And there are tools for that as well. When it comes to tools for facilitating goal setting and investing, we've created and uploaded an Excel tracker that Ken will take us through for those who want to use Excel. I like to use Excel to create my budgets. You can call me old school, but that's okay. Other people like to use apps, but every month before I get paid, I go into my Excel sheet. I copy my templates for another month. I look at my expenses. I look at the income that will be coming into me, and then I designate because the saving amount or the money I'm going to invest, that amount doesn't change unless there's a severe emergency. My savings portion doesn't change, so I save before I spend. So you designate that amount because if you are following the story as we've been going along, we started by setting our goals for the year. We started by breaking them down. And so we know month on month that if I don't put this amount aside, it's unlikely that I'll hit the goals at the time that I want to hit them, right? So you do that. And then you can do that in Excel, you can do that in other applications. I use Achieve, obviously. And in Achieve, I have, all my goals set out. So at the end of the month, whatever I'm saving towards kids' expenses, and in fact, I have entertainment goals as well. And that's something I like to talk about because whenever we talk about goal setting, people, it's boring. Hey, so you don't want me to enjoy life. Human being work, they can't
Yeah.
even chill kakra. That's not what we are saying. All that we are saying is that have a plan. The chilling is important, right? Family time is important. Those of you who have girlfriends, boyfriends, birthdays are important, celebrations are important, holidays are important, but don't make it an impulsive spend. That's the point. Don't make it an impulsive spend. So personally, I have an entertainment budget or an entertainment line in my budget, and a certain amount goes in there that I try to keep within, because all of that is important. You have your family budget, your family line. So in Achieve, you'll be able to create all of these goals and then just push the monies there. If you are saving towards a project, if you are saving towards education, health emergencies, everybody at least must have an emergency account as well, that if there's an issue you can quickly fall back on without having to go a borrowing from friends or family, and getting yourself into trouble. So you have your emergency, you have your investments, you have all of those goals, and then on a monthly basis you are saving towards that. So I've said a number of things, and I'll just recap. um, the first thing is that you can do your budgeting using budget tools that are out there. You can also do it using Excel, and we'll show you a template, a very simple one that you can adopt. The second thing is that once you've done that budgeting, then you can actually use an app like Achieve to save for the different goals in different pockets so that you can track. There are other solutions out there that you can save a bulk amount, right? That's also fine. But over here, we've done it such that you can actually create the different goal: rent, utilities, school fees, all of these things, mother, father, all of them, and then you save towards that. So Achieve is a great tool for that as well. But even if there are other simple ways you can do this. There are people who use envelopes for that, so you have your rent envelope, your school fees envelope, and so on. There are several ways to do it. The only problem is that we don't really advise that you keep your money in envelopes or in bank accounts and so on, because over there you are saving, you're not
Yeah.
investing.
Yeah.
And if you're saving, you are losing money, right? Your money that you've worked so hard for, once you've got it and you are not spending it, it should also be doing what? It should be working for you. So you should invest your money in safe, curated securities or investment products with safe partners. You should definitely invest your money and not just save them under your bed or in your susu box. At that point, inflation will chop all the money. By the time you want to use it, you can't use it for the things that you actually want to use it for.
Yeah.
So those are some of the points that I like to highlight around some of the tools and tricks that we can use to set financial goals, create a budget, and then actually work towards achieving those goals.
Thank you so much, Josefa. And thank you for mentioning the Achieve as well. I think that I haven't ever had an entertainment budget, so I will pick from this and start small. Because then December you have to buy people gifts and things. But can you automate these things? Is it something you can automate so it just goes and takes the burden of the discipline off you?
Absolutely, absolutely. So there are ways that you can automate your investment. So in Achieve, for instance, you can create automated um, deductions from your Momo accounts. Right, you can create automated deductions, and we highly recommend that people do that, because once you put your savings on autopilot, like we were talking about discipline, right? And there's this saying that drivers outside of Ghana, for instance, are not any better human beings than Ghanaian drivers. It's just because if you flout the laws, you'll be caught and you'll be held accountable. Right. So as much as it is nice to say I want to build a discipline, I want to build a discipline, human beings, we have to police ourselves, because if left to us alone, we won't do the things we are supposed to do, right? If you look at fitness and health, for instance, most of us know what to eat, we need to exercise, but you realize that it's only when someone gets a scare, when they go to the hospital and something
A
bad
health
really
scare. Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
Yes, a health scare. That's when, so human beings need to police ourselves. So me, I know myself. This is why I've created my goals, and then I've created the allocations, and you can put that on autopilot with our Auto Momo feature, automated deductions at the specified time, boom, it goes. If you're a weekly earner and you know that you don't have the discipline to accumulate the funds at the end of the month, then weekly it is going. I have a pal who does deliveries. He's a dispatch rider. He spoke to me about setting up automated goals for daily, because he earns what daily, and every day he wants to put money aside. I have another pal who's a tailor, Similar thing, he does weekly. You understand? So you look at your life circumstances, you create these automated deductions, and then you put your money on autopilot. Let me just add a few tips that hopefully are useful since we are talking about financial resets. One other tip to reset your finances is to try a no spend week or a no spend weekend or a no spend something. We are always spending money, right? Just create a situation where you say, okay, this week I'm not spending on lunch. I'm taking lunch to work. Or this month I'm not eating out or things like that. All of those things, as we do them, they help build discipline in terms of our expense management and how we spend. So try it. Just a little tip for yourself. 2 days, these 2 days, I'm not spending money, and see whether you survive. But I'm sure you will. The second one is revisit your recurring payments. A lot of us have set up all kinds of things we are paying for: Netflix, YouTube, Google One, Audible, this, that, Canva, tools, right? Those of you play games, all kinds of things, and they are recurring. And it's not a lot of money per se. This person will take $5, this one will take seven. But at the end of the day, at regular intervals, you need to go back and look, are all these things important for me? Do I still need to have all of them? And then cancel the cards or cancel the payments that are not relevant. But then the third one, I was talking about accountability by using tools like Otomomo, but you can also find an accountability partner, someone to hold you, to the task so that you keep yourselves in check. On Achieve, we have something called the group savings feature that you can hop on with a friend or three friends and say, guys, this is the plan. We want to save X amount by this time. And because there's visibility, we'll hold each other accountable. If you're not doing Achieve, which you definitely should be doing, you can just have some friends and say, this is what I'm trying to do. Every month, can you check in with me to make sure that I'm being responsible towards my goals? So these are also just a few tips to help us as we are thinking about how we reset our financial goals for the year. Hopefully, we're able to achieve them during the year.
Okay, thank you
Thanks.
so much. I think we can all agree that tomorrow is Friday. We can try a no spend day tomorrow. Especially for those of you that just don't go out
Wow.
this one day of the year. And let's
Yes.
start it from
Yeah.
there. But just to go and read some of the comments that are coming in. So Lydia Sari says it's very good advice we're giving. So thank you to the panelists. And she still says autopiloting makes a lot of sense. Um we also have some people that may have tried the Achieve app. So Nana Bonziwa, sorry if I murder your name. It says it's an app which you can download. You can allocate goals to invest and save. So that's somebody that's using the app. Safer Alpha also says that it's an app that helps you to save and invest with Petra partners. I love the goal setting aspect, and we like that you like it as well. Kwabena Odame Ofori also says that it's an investment app, very great app for savings and investment. So there are people that have also tried to use the Achieve app for their goals, automating their goals and saving. So you can use it. Some of you that also do the group susus where you give in one person takes at the end, you can put it there. Like Josefa said, you've worked hard for the money. Don't keep it in an envelope or in the bank account. Put it in something that you actually make a lot of money from and name your goal so that once you have a name to the goal, it helps you know why I'm saving towards it and makes more sense. Ken, I think you wanted to say something before we went to the comments.
Yes. I was saying that slow down the stop life because people need to chill. 5 days just here. But anyway, that's very important though. So just to add on to what Wizefa indicated, I use Achieve app obviously, yeah, because I'm in Petra. Uh, but beyond that, I also see the value it has given us for the past 3 years. And you see, um, saving is hard. When you're saving money out of the money you've earned, it's hard. But guess what is harder? Investment. Making decision on where to invest the money is tougher. And it's part of the reason why in Petra we decided to bring up this Achieve app. Because if you realize most people, even yourself, when you wake up, you are tempted to go on your phone, right? And that's the first thing that you go on, right? But before Achieve app, if you want to maybe put money aside or put money Either you keep it in an envelope in your cupboard, or then you wait for like 3 days or 4 days before you go and deposit in a bank to even decide whether to invest it or not. Now, all that time, you are losing money. Every hour that passes, you are losing money. And that's the reason why we brought up the Achieve app, so that you save as you go and invest as you go. So, um, recently we decided to even bring on board our pension, if you are without any of our pension scheme, so that when you hold the app, you can see everything that um, you are saving towards, right? It's called financial inclusion. You get to understand where you are in terms of your financial capital, right? Where you are, so that you make some quick decisions. It is our way of trying to keep people to be disciplined and consistent. Now, if you are confused at anything that we've said so far, try and list these 6 goals that I want everybody to set today. The first one is emergency fund, which Josefa indicated. Emergency fund by its name is like ambulance fund. You will never know where an expenses may come, and you don't want to go into your investments, right? So put some money down for emergency fund. Number two is household expenses. You need to save towards your household. You need to be deliberate about it, right? The utilities, the all the recurring bills that Zefa indicated. Number three is donations. Now, these expenses have become um, it's actually affecting our disposable income, right? Today, your SHS, you are donating something, your friend is getting married, you need to donate something. And if you check the financial life cycle that I shared earlier, between the 20 to 40 years, that's where all these things happen, especially when your friends begin to get married. Now, the few years later, they begin to give birth. All right. And as you get into the 40, 60 years, they'll be losing their parents. And you need to be supporting them. Right. And all these things will come out of your disposable income. Right. So donations, you need to plan for it. The fifth one is insurance. Zulefa you mentioned. I don't know how many of you, when you receive your insurance alert, you get very annoyed, right? Because you're not getting any benefit immediately. So mostly we think that is not important, right? It's very, very, very key to financial planning. So one of the things that I do is that um, I save about 6 months ahead of the insurance on the Achiever before I withdraw. So I don't really feel the pain. So from January to June, I already have accumulated the money that will go into my insurance premium. So I don't really feel the pain in June when they are deducting for June, right? And it's one of the things you can do to help you to be consistent with your insurance payments, the premium payments. And the next one is self expenses. It's one of the things that we always think that we are pampering ourselves, right? Today you see hair, my lady friends. Today you see Brazilian hair, you buy. You see a nice dress. Oh, they're nice. So let me support my colleague's business. Then you buy. Where are you buying it from? From your disposable income, right? So you need to have some savings towards your self expense. If you want to pamper yourself, that's where you slot in the vacations and entertainment and all that. And the last one, which is the most important, is your retirement goals. You need to set retirement goals now, and you need to do it now because no matter what you do, you will grow old. And if you don't take care, you can be cash broke. All right. I'm not saying asset broke because there are some people that may have inheritance. You may get some free inheritance from your parents, but you may be cash broke and you might need cash to do other things. At the appropriate time, maybe we'll talk more about retirement. But please, if you've not heard anything so far, try and keep these 6 goals and set them on the Achieve app today. All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you
Sarah, I
so
wanted to
much.
add
Sure.
a couple, can I? So,
Okay.
I mean, what Ken has shared, I think is critical. At least these 6 goals you should have. And then I just wanted to talk about matching your goals to your products. Today we are just talking about financial research, but I've seen that a number of you use Achieve and some are asking. You can reach out to us through the live chat, also to our website. You can see a lot about the products, but you should be able to match your goals to your product. So, for instance, if you are setting emergency fund, then an emergency fund is something that you are building so that when an emergency hits, you can access. So at that point, you need to invest in a product like DigiSave that has very little volatility, almost zero volatility, and you can access your money as and when you want. versus if you are saving towards retirement, for instance, then at that point it's a long-term goal. So you can afford a bit more volatility, and you can also afford, or you should also be looking for aggressive returns, so that over time you'll be able to build a store that can help you in retirement. And the thing about retirement that we don't think about as young people, because we keep deferring, is that once you turn 60, you can be alive for another 20 years. If God blesses you, 25, 30 years. Do you understand? So we don't think about that. So you need to have, like Ken said, a store, a buffer. And what we are doing through the tier two, tier three, yes, is good, but honestly, it may not be enough. So I usually advise people that you should, add some more investments as you go along, because by the time you turn 60, maybe by 70, 75, you stop working totally. You could be alive for another 10, 15 years. And at that time, you don't want to be a burden to your children or other family members. You've already built something that can be paying you monthly for you to take care of yourself. So that's just what I wanted to add to what Ken shared.
Thank you so much. So, Michael Plant says we're having a very good discussion. Thank you. And Herbert says last Spencer, then the year will end. So please, like Herbert is saying, make sure you guys start investing now because the year runs fast before you realize we're at the end of 2025.
Yeah.
Ken, I'm going to ask this because this webinar, like Josefa said, we need to augment what we are doing with other types of investments as well. But I'm just going to ask you because it's also a petrol led webinar, that are there other Petra products that people can take advantage of in diversifying their wealth for this year?
Yes, 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 yes. So we have a number of products, and for us, we walk the talk. If we are advising you, we need to create an avenue for you to be able to be successful. And that's the reason why from bringing Achieve up to be able to help you to set your goals, you need to be able to match it to a product, right? So DigiSave is one of them, as Kuzefa indicated. Now there are other products that you can also take advantage of. We have a fixed deposit product. Um, yes, we have a lot of banks that do fixed deposits and all that. But as we indicated from the beginning, one of the key things that is important to us is getting to understand what you're putting your money into. And having that flexibility to be able to move things around, right? And that is what this fixed deposit brings. Aside the competitive returns that it provides, where we're able to help you grow your wealth with competitive returns, and also that tenure flexibility that you will have on the product, we also help you to understand what you can do. So, for example, maybe after 3 months, you put it in for 3 months, and you accrue a certain return, all right, and you have a goal of maybe building a house, or you have a goal of, let's say, buying the land, all right. We have advisors that can help you to be able to go through with that goal as well, right? Where we introduce our home advisors to be able to assist you acquire land and also acquire a home, right? So we walk with you through the journey, and yes, you can do any if you want, maybe you have in dollars, maybe 100. I know some people are here have a lot of money. You have like $100,000. The funds are in cities, but you can convert it and will grow the value for you so that in the future you'll be able to hedge against the currency risk as well. We also have other um, product. I alluded to the home product. That is if you are with a pension team, and so if you are with a pension scheme, that's a tier three, you can actually access a mortgage or access a home by using your tier three as a security for the home, your primary home. And we do this by bringing you the competitive rate to be able to get the financing that you deserve. And secondly, we also help you to be able to get developers that can actually, give you a home that you desire. I know a lot of people have this dream of, living in duplex and living in penthouse and all that. That is why Petra exists. We'll help you throughout the journey. So our advice is that set the goals now, put the money in, let the money accrue interest and returns for you. Then we can help you set the asset goals as well. so that you'll be able to use them to acquire what you want in the future. There are on the Achieve app also there is Global Tech. That is um, a platform that can help you invest in foreign stocks, right? And it is basically to help all of us to protect ourselves against the currency rates. That's the depreciation of the cedi against the dollar, right? So, if for example you are here and you think that you can invest in Tesla, or you had a dream of investing in Tesla, we've already given you that opportunity through Global Tech. So, take that advantage now. All right. And also we have the personal pension product as the savings booster. If you have your tier two, tier three, just like Uzefa indicated, the tier two, tier three may not be enough for you. So you means you will have to um, do a personal pension so that you'll be able to accumulate a lot of funds before you go on retirement. So the savings booster is also a personal pension scheme that you can take advantage of. All these products are available. There will be links in the chat box. You can click on any of them, and advisor will reach out and we can talk more about it.
Thank you so much. And Ken, just because you are the one that's speaking, we're about to end the webinar. Then we'll go into the questions. We have a load of questions. Can you take us through the actual cycle of budgeting, just for everybody that's listening? And please note that if you want to talk to an advisor, there'll be a link in the comments where we would you can put down your details to be linked to an advisor here at Petra. And so Ken is going to take us through the budgeting, how to actually track it, in a few minutes, and then we'll take your questions quickly.
All right, thank you, Sarah. So, yes, when we talk about budgeting, usually our mind goes straight to expenses, right? But budgeting begins with income. So, when we started, Muzefa mentioned that financial research begins with evaluation of um, your finances and where you are, right, in terms of what you have in your pockets or your accounts. And that is where the cycle begins on your budget. You need to put down all your source of income. So one can be your salary income or your business income. All right, you need to state that clearly. So at the end of the month, if you are earning, let's say, 1,000 or let's say 10,000, you put it there. If you are an entrepreneur and you are earning, maybe you earn out of your profit, you need to have a designated amount for you that you pay yourself with, right? One of the challenges entrepreneurs have is that they always go into the working capital and they end up, even losing their business and also going broke when they go on retirement. All right. But don't worry, that's why Petra is here. We're here to guide you through all those journey. Um, you need to pay yourself as the CEO, even if you are the only employee, right? So that you need to indicate that amount there. Then the second line, you also look at what we call side hustle. And I would like to focus on, especially for those of us that are between 20 to 40 years, you need to have other source of income. All right. And having other source of income is basically looking at something that you are interested in and be able to make money out of. Today, we are fortunate enough for all the millennials here. We are fortunate enough that we have platforms like TikTok, like digital platforms that pays, right? So if you know how to create content, can you create content on TikTok and you make money, right? If you have maybe you sell clothes or you sell anything, all right, you can market it to other people outside your area and you can get people to buy. That is the benefits that we have in today's tech world, right? So you need to have something that you can work on, and you can even have a remote job, something that can you can work on midnight to be able to earn something. All I'm saying is that you need to have multiple sources of income aside your salaries. All right. If you want to be rich like Despite, please try and get other source of income. Right. Now, the third thing is your investment returns that can contribute towards your income. Now, that one comes after you have made that bold decision to be able to invest your funds, and that is where our fixed deposits and all the products that are indicated comes in, right? So that you'll be able to have the money that you have today will be able to work for you to bring you more, right? So investment returns is one of the and any other source of income for those that you inherited some assets like houses and you can rent them to be able to make some money out of it and all that. All those things can form your other source of income. Now, beyond your income is the main thing, that is the expenses, right? We just like Uzipa indicated, if you are drawing a budget, you need to look at the now. So the first thing you look at is um, your monthly expenses. All right. So the things around your rent, you put it down. Your utilities, you put it down. If you don't know the amount, so for example, if you you were paying, let's say ECG, you were paying light of, let's say, 100 cedis per month. And when they change your meter, it has moved to, let's say, 200 cedis or 150. All right. You need to adjust your expected or budgeted amount. Don't keep it as 100 and be doing more. Oh, but I need it. You understand? You need to be very disciplined in adjusting your budget so that you can make sure that you meet them. Then groceries. For those of you who are married, even if you don't, if you're a guy here and you're married, if even if you don't remember this one, you'll be prompted. You understand? So you need to have an amount aside for groceries and food, right? And also transportation. For those of you that you have your own cars, usually you'll be told, oh, I don't take transport, but fuel can be, uh, you can't move the car without a fuel, right? So you need to have a budget for your fuel. If you are working where in a firm where they give you fuel card, right? The money on the forecast should be able to guide you to be able to project for these the expenses that you make, all right, in terms of your on your fuel. And the next thing is your health. Now, for this one, if you have an insurance, all right, if you have an insurance in your company or with your company, it doesn't mean you should take this item out because there are some people, and I can speak for myself, some people who intentionally would not like to go to the hospital. And when when immediately there's something, they will walk to the pharmacy. Please, it is not right. But just make sure that you don't spend anything on your health without you planning for. So try and put something down for your health expenses. And the underlying factor under this particular category is that if you are somebody who is a breadwinner, also you'll be, sometimes your parents may call you for some money for their health and all that. You need to plan for all those things under health, right? So self and any dependence, you need to plan for these things, right? And the Josephus item, which is very, very important, the entertainment. For the enjoyment ministry, it is very, very key. All right. A relaxing mind always produce the best results. So please make sure you plan for your entertainment. You can, just like we indicated that the Achiever has this group savings, get all your girls, get all your boys together. And immediately the year has started, one of the research you need to do is to put money together for your end of year vacation, all right, or mid-year vacation. And the next one is debt repayment. If you've taken loans, the cycle that I showed earlier, there are between 20 to 40. That's where you can take some of these risks, right? So you can take loans, you can take mortgages, you can take all those things. But when you're taking them, you need to also factor them. The system, our credit system already helps us protect us from not going beyond 50% debt service ratio, right? So it's already protects us, but you need to try and um, m- minimize it. If you don't need to go beyond 50% or do the peak of 50%, try and do something lesser. But you need to plan for your debt as well. And please don't overspend to be going and go to your friends to borrow money or go to your parents to borrow money. It is not advisable. What you put on your budget is what you need to spend. And the miscellaneous, usually when I'm doing budget, I don't add miscellaneous. All right. But for your sake, I'll put miscellaneous because we are starting and we'll end up, knowing the reason why we don't need miscellaneous. If you put miscellaneous there, you end up putting a lot of weight on miscellaneous. But try and for all the amounts that you put there, add them and just do 1% of that in your miscellaneous. All right. Don't do 10% or 5%, just 1%. If your total budget is 10,000, just 100 cities for miscellaneous. All right. That's the peak. Now, when you are done putting your monthly budgets together, there are monies that you need to put aside also for your savings. And we've spoken at length on some of the savings that you can take advantage of. The emergency, all the goals that we indicated. All right, the long-term investment like um, the global tech and some other investments and the fixed term investment like the fixed deposit and all that, right? You need to also have an amount stated for that. The Achieve actually helps you to do all these things. And lastly, I would like to end by touching on the just to summarize everything. So when you do the monthly ones, you need to like try and stagger it in a way that it will fit into your yearly budget, right? So at the end of the 12 months, you can give it an inflationary percentage month on month, right? But at the end of the day, you should know that at the end of the year, if I'm earning 200,000, I need to grow it to what? Let's say by 50%. All right, because I'll spend 50% on my household expenses and all that. I'll end by saying that among all the goals that we indicated, studies have proven that if you are earning 1,000 cedis at least for every amount that you earn, just like the Christians who will pay 10% tithe, 10% of that should go into your retirement planning. So for all the goals that you will set, make sure that at least 10% of your disposable income will go into your retirement planning. All right. Don't be over reliant on your tier two or your tier three. I hope this helps. It's very simple. Just go through them, your income levels, your expenses, and try and just look at the things, the goals that you can save and invest in. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ken. And thank you so much, Josefa. You've been amazing
Sarah, I wanted
panelists.
to
You've
add
had, okay. Yes, please do. Go
another
ahead.
tip, the 10% going into your retirement fund, and then for your emergency fund as well, we recommend that you try to build an investment of 3 to 6 months of your expenses in your emergency fund at least, so that if anything should happen, if you should lose your job or there should be a crisis, at least you have something to fall back on for 3 to 6 months whilst you find your feet. So I just wanted to add that tip as well. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
very
so much.
important.
Thank you, guys. There'll be a link in the chats that takes us to the templates. So as I mentioned, we're going to actually leave you with practical goodies like this one, so you can actualize everything we're saying and use it. I was thanking my panelists because we haven't ended. We're just going to end in a very short time, but we'd like to take the questions from here. And thank you for staying on and also sharing your questions and your comments. I'm going to read it out and I'll just confirm which of us will be answering them. So the first question is from hashtag Osabu, and he says, my question has to do with withdrawals from the DigiSave account. Madam Abdullah said in one of her videos I watched that DigiSave is her investment hack to the bank account. So say
Mhm.
I put my money in DigiSave and I'm in town and want to get an item, how easily accessible is the fund in that moment of time? So that would be to Zefa then.
Yes, yes. It's super easy to access your DigiSave account, and the money's in there. It's right on the app. DigiSave is an investment. So for me, like I said, it's a hack. When I get paid, I move my monies into DigiSave, and for every day that I'm not spending that money, I'm earning some interest. There are two ways to withdraw. If you have a planned expense, yeah, I know that I'll need this money tomorrow or the day before, then I can do the standard withdrawal that takes 24 hours, and then we process and then we pay you. But if you need the money immediately as well, there is a solution for that, what we call the express withdrawal. And you can immediately access the money. And in fact, for Achieve App users, we have a surprise coming up on the express withdrawal bits, which makes it even better than it was before. So that once you need money immediately, you can access it wherever you are and at whatever time. So there's a solution for that. Thanks.
There's a surprise coming up to this. The surprise is going to be very exciting. We can't wait. All right. So Ken, Kobna T. Robert says that he has a tier two and a tier three. Can he do another investment? I think if you can touch on the products quickly first.
Yes, Pablo. You can actually do another investment under the savings booster scheme, the personal pension scheme. So you can also but if you want a fixed term investment, you can also take advantage of the fixed deposits. And will help you through that. So there are links below. You can actually click on them and we'll get an advisor to attend to you right away.
Right. So thank you very much, Ken. Just to stay on you a bit, Ken. So there's a question from Richard Mayer Inso about the Petra rent.
Okay, great. It looks like there are a lot of people who know about the goodies, and I'm really impressed with our audience. We are happy to have you, and this is the journey we set out, and I'm happy that we are getting people along, right? So we one of the solutions we are providing as an institution. We admit that there are like life happens, there are things that people spend on, right? And it distracts their investment. So usually you get somebody going into their savings booster or their achieve investment because they need some quick money for rent, or they need some quick money to, you know, buy some things for the girlfriend or boyfriend. Hope you didn't hear that. Right. So with those things, we decided to come up with some solutions, and one of them is the rent. The rent loan. So basically, if you are interested, we have a partner that can help you to pay your rent upfront. All right. The terms and conditions are very flexible. The whole goal is that you don't need to touch your investment if you are not ready to lose the unaccrued returns, right? So please, you can take advantage of that. I think there's a link there that you can click on, and the advisor will walk you through the processes. They are fairly easy.
Thank you so much, Ken. So somebody is asking, I'm sure maybe Joseph and Ken can both give me 15 seconds answers on this one. It says, what are the options for those who are saving with Petra and have now left the country?
Oh, I'll leave that one for Ken.
Okay.
Sorry, I missed out on that. Can you go
So
Oh,
somebody,
go ahead?
somebody, somebody used to work in Ghana, was investing with Petra. They're now outside the country, and so they want to know if there are
Oh,
other investment options, and also if the payment processes can support that. I think that would be good to throw that in.
okay, okay. Oh, so we call them our diaspora customers. We are still into business with you actually. So yes, if you have a tier two and you left the country, all right. If you are doing permanent immigration, they will actually allow you to move your money. You can move everything, all right. If you are immigrating permanently, so now you need to provide some evidence to show that you're moving permanently. But regardless of that, which I don't advise, because we are competent enough to be able to protect your funds till you hit age 60, right? So your funds will be in a preservation account. It will be moved into an individual account, all right, until you come back and or you hit age 60 and you want to assess it. If there is tier three, you can also open a savings booster account and remove the funds from the umbrella of the organization into the savings booster account. So it falls under your name, your personal name, right? And you can actually make payments into that account. So today there are various solutions that you can use to make payments. Today, I think somewhere, if I correct me if I'm wrong, I think 2 weeks ago, when we onboarded the savings booster onto that cheap app, people can actually make payments via mobile money, right? So those are some of the solutions that we are giving to our diaspora people that would like to continue, investing with us. You can also, if you have an active account that is in Ghana, you can actually put a standing order and we're moving funds into that account, and we'll be moving into your savings booster or any investments with us accordingly. I hope I was able to address your question.
Yes, yes, perfectly. So Kelvin and Emmanuel, they have both asked for a recording of this. So our technical team will work on that, and you'll be sent a link as well, so you can refer to this later. So Josefa, Esther Kekeli says, how can I withdraw, or how do I withdraw from my global tech account? So I think this is another account on the Achieve app. Aside
Yes,
DigiSave that you mentioned, okay. If I
yes.
have an emergency, and is this account meant for those kind of things for the global tech that we spoke about?
Exactly why I spoke about matching your goals to the appropriate product, right? So I'll give you an example. If I have to pay school fees next month, in February, and I decide that, oh, the money that I have, I'm going to invest it in T bills, right? 91 day or 182-day T bills, but I have to pay school fees in February. Whilst I'm making a sensible financial decision to do an investment, I'm not actually doing the right thing because I will need that money in February, and I'm going to pick an investment that will lock my money until 3 months or 6 months later. So, this is why we have these conversations. And as time goes on, we all build the knowledge. Investments are great, but you really have to look at the goal for the investment and the vehicle within which you are doing the investment. So, Global Tech is a long term fund. It's also a higher volatility fund. What that means is that because we are investing in equity, the equities fluctuate, right? Their price fluctuates. And so the price of the fund can also fluctuate. For funds like this, we don't recommend them at all for short term investments or short term savings, like emergency funds, like saving towards rent, like saving towards school fees. We really recommend them for long term investments, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, because that's when you will really reap the benefits of such funds over the long term. And so because of that, we to create the habits, again, we spoke about habits and automating them. We instituted a 6 month lock on Global Tech so that you don't come in, experience volatility, move out, and lose money. We want you to stay invested so that the fund can do what it needs to do, and then you definitely make money over the long term. And so that's how the Global Tech 6 month lock works. We actually think that 6 months is too short, but it's just to help people build the habits of staying invested in volatile funds for a long time. So as you are seeing the up and downs, don't get worried at all. This is meant to be a long-term investment for things like emergencies, rent, school fees, and things that you need easy access to. Then I will recommend products like the DigiSave for you. So for the person who is invested in Global Tech, at least for the first 6 months, they can't withdraw. They'll have to wait for the first 6 months to elapse. Even then, I would say that even then, don't withdraw, extend your lock for a longer period of time so that you can get the maximum benefits of that as well.
Thank you so much, Josefa. The other people who also asked about that and then the Eurobond. So I'm sure this explanation has been very good. Pascal wants to know how to be an ambassador of Petra. Would love to have you. So, but the simple things you can do now is to tell your friends about the Achiever, like, share posts, create engagement about it on your social media platforms and your LinkedIn so that your friends can also look at it and then
And Sarah,
sure.
I wanted to add that on Achieve by Petra, we've been running a referral promo, I'll call it, for the longest time. We have a referral thing that runs, and a lot of people have made some small coins out of it. So
Oh,
if you have Achieve app, you can go to your profile page, share your referral link. When your friends and family sign up via the referral link, you get a reward, and they get a reward when they make their first payments. So when they sign up and they make their first payments, you get 10 CD. So the guy wants to be an ambassador. As you tell people about it, make use of the link as well, so that when they sign up, you get your reward as well
yeah.
paid into your account. So just wanted to add
All
that.
right. Okay, thank you so much. Josefa, so somebody is asking that on the app they lock their goal and they want to change the amounts. What's the possibility with that?
Okay, so for their specific case, once you've locked your goal, it means that you've set a certain target, and you've set a timeline for which you want to achieve that target. So you might have to create a different goal, but you could also reach out to us through the app. We have a live chat icon at the top right corner. Just click on it, reach out to customer service, and explain your situation, and we'll be able to assist you through there.
Thank you so much. So just going through your questions again, and to remind you that the link is in the chats, and both to speak to an advisor and also to be able to get the how do you call it, the information on the budgeting. So kindly go ahead and use that. And Kennedy, somebody's asking, what's the interest rates averagely on the savings booster accounts?
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So the savings booster is returning today around an annualized return of about 23%. Last year we ended the year at around 31%, and it is this annualized rate. It changes on daily basis, right? The most important thing is that we are always ahead of the curve because of the investment decisions that we take. It's one of the, if you go to Dumbia, so you can, I think for some of you who know the app, you can check Savings Booster is um, one of the best investment products for the past 5 years. And we keep working for you to be able to prepare good for your retirement.
All right, thank you so much. So thank you. Any parting words from Kennedy, from Huzaifa?
Yeah. Um, sure. Ken, do you want to go first?
Oh, you can start. You can start. I'm start leaving my customers.
Sure. I'm not sure you're leaving there. We're always available. Like Sarah said, reach out to us on social media, on Achieve, via email. We are always ready to assist. I've seen quite a lot of questions that people have for specific products. Others are asking whether they can contribute into savings booster with Momo. Yes, that's doable, and you'll be able to do even more on the Achieve app. Reach out to us. Go to petraonline.com or achieveapp.com, and there's a load of information there. So hopefully we'll be able to answer all your questions. This conversation has been about financial resets. I wish you guys all the best as we go into the year. For every goal that we have in life, without discipline, without commitment, you are not going to achieve it. So, whilst we've said all the fancy things and the nice things, I really hope that you've picked at least one or two things, or even one goal out of the six that Ken shared, and made that a topical issue for yourself, taking it personal. Remain commitment and discipline to it, and hopefully 6 months down the line you'll reach out to us and let us know how it is going and whether this conversation has been useful to you at all. So thank you all for joining us. We are available online to continue the conversation. Thank you.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Kennedy.
So I would like to say that when we say reset is a self change of mind, right? You agreeing to change your mindset. It is not a change of system alone. It has to do with you as an individual. It starts with you. So for all the things that we've said, start the reset today by following the various practices that we shared with you. And let's get in touch with us. Let's do an evaluation after 3 months, 6 months, and you can see some progress and continue with some of the behaviors that you see very profitable to you. For all the products that we indicated, the fixed term products, the fixed deposit, treasury bills, um, all the solutions that we have, the easy loan for those who are on the pension product, the easy loan, easy homes, and the rent product. And for anything that can help you protect your investment is the reason why Petra is coming up with all these solutions. So please don't be in a hurry to withdraw your investment. First, engage with it, take the right decisions, and we have advisors to help you take the right decisions. And we'll be happy to also come to your organizations to come and tell you more about these things. And for those who are willing to be ambassadors, please spread the news. And we want to be financial partners to everybody and not just those who are with us. So please spread the news, and we are happy to walk this journey with you. Let's be 60 together and let's enjoy together. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you very much, Ken. It's been a lovely 1 hour, almost a little over 20 minutes spending with you, our lovely viewers who joined. And just to let you know that this would be on our YouTube page. So if you couldn't join early, You can get the recording on our YouTube and our Facebook pages. So do join us on social media. The conversation doesn't stop. If you have any questions, like we've mentioned, we gave the details for the advisors, and so you can reach out and have these things answered duly for you. We trust that a lot of these things that we've said, you practicalize them. The first step is actually listening to this conversation. Now it's time for you to take action, and we are here to guide you. And we know that once you either make use of any of the resources we've spoken about, you would see some different positive results. So please download the Achieve by Petra app. And just to end with what Abubakar has some commendations he gave us, is that Petra is the space to watch now and going into the future. The team is highly innovative, and I commend you all at Petra. So that's good news for all of us, both customers, non customers, and the Petra staff as well. Now, it's been a great day, and we trust that you would enjoy the rest of your evening. Keep investing, keep resetting your financial future. We're here for you. My name is Sarah, and I've moderated this webinar. Do have a lovely evening. Bye.
Bye.